Welcome back, Star Gamers. Today, I'm your host, Spin Assassin, and today we are jumping back in time in our interdimensional time machine. We're going to another Earth and another dimension where samurai and knights and Vikings were not separated by hundreds of years and different continents, but all fighting over the same fantasy continent. Now this is interesting, this game, because it's kind of like a first-person shooter, some aspects of it, and it's kind of like old-style 2D fighting games wrapped up together. So like the multiplayer, the massive multiplayer kind of thing is just like a first-person shooter where you have to control points and stuff, and it's very strategic, except you can't shoot. Except I think there might be a bow and arrow character that might be able to stand up there on somewhere up high and shoot at people down low. In fact, there's actually crossbows. If you play the campaign, there's some crossbows, so you do some shooting. And you can call in artillery strikes, which are actually, catapult or ballista strikes, which is very cool, a very neat dynamic to this. But yeah, as I was saying, this is not the Earth, this is Ashfeld, at least this part that I'm playing. And it is hyper-realistic. And as far as I can tell, there's no magic. So there's no wizards and sorcerers and dragons and stuff. In fantasy, that's what kind of takes the place of technology, are the, the wizards and whatever else. So everything seems to be completely realistic. Like, as if the continents were arranged in this certain way and history was arranged in this certain way, that all of this is actually believable with the exact same physics and technology that we knew about today. So I did say that this game is a lot like a fighting game, like those 2D style fighting games like Killer Instinct and Mortal Kombat and all those games. There's tons of them. And to be honest, I never understood the appeal of them. I always thought to myself, like, why stay in 2D, right? Like, why, like, when are you going to discover the third dimension? And I think For Honor is kind of the answer, alright? But I'm just not used to playing these fighting games, especially when you do the duels and one-on-one combat. So that's why I say it's extremely hard. If you don't do fighting games, it's extremely hard because it's all about countering and combos. You have to memorize certain button combos, and if you don't pick the easier soldiers to fight as in the beginning, I immediately spent all my gold in the all my silver or whatever it was in the betas on getting a hard character to play, and I mean, I lost just about every encounter I faced. So yeah, just remember to pick your level, start out with an easy character, play as a warden, and it's pretty easy to actually play, and then you can move on to the more difficult stuff. So here you see one of those duels, and you got a counter. The game actually tells you which way they're getting ready to strike, so you can counter that way, block it that way. And I'm getting used to some of the button combos. It's actually becoming a lot of fun. And this should appeal to everyone who plays those Killer Instinct type fighting games, right down to the executions and everything. Watch this. Wow. Oh, yeah. That is pretty freaking awesome. And they've got all kinds of executions, different executions that they give you. As you level up, you can buy more executions, equip more executions. You can level up all your armor and upgrade it and scavenge it on the battlefield till basically you're looking like that dude that's just knighting you in the campaign. And of course it all looks gorgeous. I mean, it's pretty damn realistic looking, and all the sound effects are great, and the storyline and even the lines are not cheesy. Like, this is a great game. So
come on,
anyone who watches this channel knows I hate that phrase, boots on the ground, but like, I mean, if you want to get down in the dirt and the mud and get some of that gritty combat where you just feel like you can feel the sweat, you can feel like blood you know, spattering maybe through your your chainmail or what. Like, this is the game for you. And yeah, I'm definitely going to be playing a lot more of this. I love the domination aspect of it, which is just like you might recall from first-person shooters, where you have to control bridges, control different points before you can win. You have to push the enemy back so that you can actually control like the battlefield and everything. I mean, it's pretty straightforward and a lot of fun at the same time. I believe it's 4-on-4, but there's loads of NPCs. And you know what? To make the battle, this is something that can be incorporated into other games too. Something I kind of wish that they had in multiplayer is, you know, you don't necessarily need 64 people on the battlefield at the same time, like in Battlefield. If you got like 4 versus 4, but then fill the battlefield with NPCs who will listen to you, who will, you know, you can give them orders and they'll have your back, and okay, sure, they're pretty weak and stupid and stuff like that, but it really makes it feel like a thick battle, even when there's only 8 people in this game. Like, look at what's going on down there. It is pretty exciting. So this guy's gonna call in some artillery, and this is, you know, original medieval artillery. He's gonna call in a catapult strike here, and it is actually a pretty neat dynamic. I'm really glad that they added this to the game, not just crossbows and stuff, but, you know, some actual ye olde artillery here. And it's pretty exciting. Like, look at this. This is fun. Like, this, it feels like you're playing like the best movie ever, or like in the thick of battle in Lord of the Rings or something. So I'm looking to see. I think this sort of style game is gonna make a big comeback here. So it is. Ubisoft has done a very good job here. Some room for improvement. If they were going to make a sequel, what could they add? You know what I'm missing is horses. When I'm down in the middle battlefield, trying to push the line forward, and even when I'm behind the line, all I can think of is like, damn, I wish I had a horse. I could just run all these people over like nothing. And that's, of course, why they had cavalry. So that's always an interesting thing. In some of the fantasy genres, like, you could explain, like, oh, why don't they just build a steam engine? You know, I bet anyone from this sort of time, like a gamer anyway, I don't know about other people, but if you went back in time, like, you could tell them, hey, let's build a steam engine, let's do this, and by the way, here's gunpowder, here's you know, like, you could make a serious dent in some of the battles in the old times if you had someone who would listen to them. But in fantasy, they kind of replace all that. Well, technology doesn't advance. They don't need steam engines because, you know, they cast a spell and boil some water and lift a bridge and, you know, call in a dragon. Don't need airplanes if you got dragons, etc. Right? So this does have some room for technological advancement. Particularly, I'd like to see some cavalry. That would be a lot of fun. Of course, that opens up, I mean, if you're going to have cavalry, then it'd be neat to level up your NPCs as well. Not just dudes with shields trying to advance on the field there, but maybe pikemen, right? Who will form a line and be like, okay, cavalry, come get us, you know? They just stick their pikes in the ground and skewer any cavalry that comes near. And it would be neat to see stuff like that happen. So I am playing through the campaign, I'm playing some of the multiplayer, and I'm actually improving, actually winning some battles and stuff, and even encounters. So don't give up. If you try this game out, don't give up because it's hard to start with. Just keep trying, stay with a low-level character, and figure it out. Look at this, I can actually hold my own with one of these, like, assassins or whatever. When I was playing the beta, these guys would just carve me up. I decided to get this big brute who had like this swinging mace and a huge shield, and I couldn't hit shit. But that's not the game's fault. So enjoy this game, get it, definitely. Even if you're a star gamer, this isn't sci-fi, but it's definitely speculative fiction. because it's not even the Earth. There's no relation to history whatsoever. It's not. This is not the Earth. This is not the Knights Templar or anything like that. So, give this game a try. I will see you on the battlefield, Star Gamers. Let's polish up our swords, take our interdimensional time machine, and check out Ashfeld, maybe some other continents. So lock in coordinates to stargamer.space, punch that subscribe button right in the face, and punch it, Chewie.